You had a little over 1,000 baristas at Starbucks across 75 different stores announcing they're on strike. And it's actually kind of interesting because we only got wind of it today, but they went on strike on Sunday. I guess they don't quite have the power that they used to.
People are like, I had no idea.
Seriously, AP picked up the story today. But apparently about 1,000 or so, a little over 1,000 baristas representing a variety of different shops across the country. To the best of my knowledge, there isn't one in Washington that is part of this. There is one or a few, I guess, in Portland. But they're upset with the new dress code that went into effect on Monday. And it's actually a not so controversial dress code. It's a black T-shirt along with khaki, black, or blue denim pants. That's it. You got to wear the green apron with the Starbucks logo on it. That's about it. Unless I think if you're at the roastery, I think those aprons are black, I think. But there are some folks on the activist side of the barista aisle who are with the union, and they believe that this should be determined via collective bargaining. And then you've got others who are just generally upset, claiming that they cannot be their authentic selves, without realizing if they were actually their authentic selves at work, they wouldn't have a job, because your authentic self is insufferable. Let's be honest. But really, this is just angering slobs. Seriously, that's all that this is. You're a bunch of slobs.
Well, that's a good thing, angering slobs.
I don't mind if I'm angering a slob. I'm totally okay with that. Paige Summers is a Starbucks shift supervisor out in Maryland. She said, Starbucks has lost its way. Instead of listening to baristas who make the Starbucks experience what it is, they're focused on all the wrong things like implementing a restrictive new dress code. Real quickly, baristas make the Starbucks experience what it is. Y'all have had sluggish sales for years now. I would be doing what I can to distance myself from the results of Starbucks. I wouldn't be leaning into being responsible for it. Customers don't care what color our clothes are when they're waiting 30 minutes for a latte. Why are they waiting 30 minutes for a latte? Are you here to defend the baristas, or are you undercutting them, Paige?
Wait, she was just touting the experience, and that says it takes 30 minutes to get a latte.
Right, and I've heard the whole argument that, and there's validity to the complaint that sometimes orders are so insane and complicated it can take a while. Like, I've heard that before. A latte is not difficult. That's the basic. There's two basics that you get at Starbucks. It's the drip coffee, and it's a latte. And for half of it, all you're doing is pushing a button. It brews everything for you. You're not taking out the coffee grinds and putting, what is that stamp thingy on it? I don't know how it works. I have an automatic machine. It does everything for me. You're not even doing that to make the espresso. You're just pushing a button. It's all automated. And you're putting the milk, I guess, in the pitcher. Okay. But this whole idea that we want to be our individual, authentic selves. If your individuality looks like you slept in the dumpster behind the Starbucks store, Starbucks doesn't want you. And that's okay. You shouldn't want them. If they can't accept you at your worst, they don't deserve you at your best. So you should just get another job. Because clearly you're not focused on making me my cortado. It's taking you 30 minutes. You're too focused on what it is you're wearing into your coffee shop. These are entitled latte artists who apparently want the freedom to wear the ratty hoodies, the jeans with the holes in them. And of course, they're turning this into a union rights issue because they think it's going to get folks on their side. And I suppose there will be, a progressive base that will support this. But I'm sorry, a dress code should not be subject to the feelings of hundreds of thousands of baristas any more than the menu should be. You don't get to decide that. You've got about 400,000 employees who work at Starbucks across the globe. They're going to negotiate a dress code? How? How are you going to make even a fraction of them happy?
It's not a very cumbersome dress code either.
It really isn't. It's a black shirt who, by the way, they say they'll buy for you.
Oh, wow.
You got to buy your own pants. But everyone should have a pair of, blue, black jeans or khaki pants.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty normal. They're giving you the T-shirts. This is not difficult. And again, maybe I'm old-fashioned. Maybe I have standards. But I expect some level of professionalism. You, Jackson, are not like Jacob, who used to wear a T-shirt when he was my producer. And where is he now? No longer my producer. What are you doing? What are you wearing? You have a collared shirt on.
Yeah, I got to shack it over this.
Yeah, and that counts for me. No T-shirts, though. You know not to wear a T-shirt.
Nope.
What are the rules?
No T-shirts, no sandals, no shorts.
Yeah, and no gel.
I think there's an exception, though, right, for short sleeves if it has a collar, right?
If it's a polo.
Yeah,
or like a golf shirt kind of thing. Okay, I'll give you a pass on that.
It's always freezing in this office, so.
Yeah, you're never going to wear that. That's part of the reason why it's so cold. Have you ever seen me in a T-shirt? Ever?
No.
Have you ever seen me in even a button-down shirt without a tie on?
No, I don't think so. No.
You've never. I know for a fact you haven't, because I've never stepped into this building unless I have a tie on. I had an overnight at a hotel conference with people in this building. They did not see me ever in normal people clothes. It's a tie.
I think if I saw you without a tie, I would do like a double take.
Yeah, it'd be like seeing a teacher in the grocery store. Like, huh? You're a real person? I have a brand, but I also have just a general rule of looking professional. I want to be taken seriously, and you should want to be taken seriously as a barista. And if you show up looking the way some of them show up, sorry, you're not going to be taken seriously, and then Starbucks doesn't get taken seriously. And it's funny, you don't hear like neurosurgeons complaining about what it is they wear. I don't like these scrubs. I don't like them. And rarely do you hear anything from like Delta employees. There was a little bit around Alaska's new line like a few years ago, and even that just kind of went away. They didn't go on strike. These are jobs that require, even if we're talking about barista, sorry, you have to be credible. You have to be competent. You have to have a basic understanding of how others perceive you. And while I agree, I don't care what color your shirt is, unless it's yellow. That's just inappropriate unless it's the summer, I guess. But I do care the quality of your clothes. If someone's dressed like a slob, do you think you're going to like the service you get, the cup of coffee you get? Aren't you going to assume that they put the same level of disinterest that they did in their sartorial choices than in this cup of coffee?
Yeah, it's kind of off-putting as a customer.
It really is. And, you can pretend that brand image doesn't matter, I guess, but that's the difference between a multi-billion-dollar company and some schlub who lives in the mother-in-law apartment in Kirkland. That's the difference here. This isn't just about the feelings of the baristas. I suppose if you told me I couldn't wear a tie to work, I'd be upset. But okay, that's not my decision to make. Starbucks is suffering. I don't know if y'all have read any of the news lately. Sales, especially in this country, are not going in the right direction. And certainly that has not everything to do with the green-haired barista with the button that says they, them. I'm not going to put that all on them. They went away from what they were known as a brand to be, right? Starbucks, when it was at its height, when everything was great. What did you know about Starbucks? They made a good cup of coffee. It was relatively inexpensive, but it was higher quality than what you can get at like a 7-Eleven or a gas station, and it was quick. That's all. You didn't go there because you got the little egg, what are those stupid things called?
Egg bites?
The little egg bites or the cake pops.
Biggest scam ever.
It's such a scam. Here's a $12 one-bite appetizer, snack. But when they started to introduce all the food and all the new items, the lavender lattes and all that stuff, things started to suffer. Now, there's some consumer demands around alternative milk products. Okay, I got that. But the honeycomb, lavender, flat white, there's a reason why they're trimming their menu and have been trimming their menu, because they strayed. Part of that is also the look. It used to have a very consistent brand. It really did. It had a look. It doesn't have it anymore. This is about brand image. This is about rebuilding the brand. And if this is truly the hill that some barista wants to die on, denying the tyranny of matching aprons and T-shirts, okay, go for it. I have a radical proposition for those baristas. Serve coffee somewhere else. Go to a place that has different standards, different expectations, maybe none at all. Go work there. There are a bunch of independent coffee shops, especially in this area. Go work there. If the owner is okay with you looking like you just rolled out of bed or just got out of Numos after an overnight, okay, fine. Go work there. It's a sense of entitlement that I think bothers me the most when it comes to these kinds of stories. It's just irritating. Oh, I don't want to do it. Okay. Welcome to the world of work where you sometimes have to do things you don't want to do.
No respect for authority.
But it's even, I think it's worse than that. That's obviously a huge part of it, but it's that they just don't want to. I don't even know if they truly think about it as down with the man. We don't want, because that's like a uniquely different generational kind of approach. I don't think they even put that together. They just say, I don't want to.
Louis C.K. had an old joke about how every 20-year-old's like, this job sucks. He's like, yeah, that's why we gave it to you.
So true, though. There's this, I don't want to do it. Okay. I don't want to hire you anymore. I don't want to pay you anymore. You see how that works? We all happy? We're all on the same page?